Hello and welcome to the Firth of Cromarty on the east coast of the Scottish Highlands.
Famous for featuring in the shipping forecast, Cromarty is about to see some serious high pressure as 7 artists confront this amazing sea view.
General synopsis for the next 4 hours is rising terror, becoming highly competitive later, with outbreaks of occasional panic.
That's just us.
Don't worry, I've got a hit flask. It's the semi-final of Landscape Artist of the Year.
Over 6 exhilarating heats, 48 artists have battled for a place in the semi-final by capturing on canvas some of Britain's most breathtaking scenery.
Really happy. This is like perfect.
And they've conjured up some magical artwork.
Something genius could happen on there.
Now only the heat winners remain.
I'm so happy.
To battle it out for 3 coveted places in the final.
I'm absolutely shocked. I'm still shaking, like, with my hands.
Wow. For an older artist, it's like we've still got something to say. Bring it on.
They're all competing for a sensational prize, a £10,000 commission to paint a scene in Venice to celebrate the bicentenary of the art critic John Ruskin.
To claim the prize, the artists must impress our hypercritical judges, Taishan Schierenberg and Kathleen Soriano.
How do you put yourself into those rigs?
I've been walking around like a spidery transformer.
So it's time to take up their brushes to see which of our semi-finalists can paint their way into the final.
I'm dancing with colour.
The colour whisperer, the colour shouter at the moment. There's not much whispering going on there, is there? In today's semi-final, 4 of our artists are professional. Patsy Moore, Fujiko Rose, Kathy Reddy and Gary Jeffrey.
Since the heat, my sleeping pattern has been all over the place. I've been waking up at 3:30 in the morning and going to bed at 9 at night. I'm so excited.
And joining them are 2 amateur artists, James Murch and David Youds.
Feels amazing to be selected for the semi-final. Today my intentions are to go with my sort of instincts really and just crack on with it.
But our 6 heat winners aren't the only ones to have made it to the semi-final. At every heat, 50 wildcards set up their easels and braved the elements. For 1 wildcard place per heat.
You are our wildcard winners today.
Thank you very much.
With room for just 1 more artist in the semi-final, the judges voted Sue England's painting victorious.
Sue's jumped out, and it was because it was something beyond the surface of the landscape. It had echoes of the day, the pouring rain, the greenness, the edge of the castle, but she'd made something with its own distinct style. And that's what we're looking for, artists who have something to say.
Sue England's painting of Hurst Monceaux Castle in Sussex captured the judges' attention and earned her a place in a pod at this year's semi-final.
I don't do a lot of plein air painting, so what I did at Hurst Monceaux was quite revelationary to me, and it made me paint in a different way. So, yeah, I feel quite competitive here.
Before the day's competition begins, the artists gather their materials and take stock of the overwhelming seaside view and the unpredictable seaside weather.
The oil rigs add the nice element to what would be a really kind of flat, featureless landscape with the weather. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to getting into it.
What I really like is all the different components you have on the oil rig. Lines, and angles, just so much going on it.
The view's presenting all sorts of issues, mainly because of the drizzle. I think the key for me is to put my positive pants on and keep them on all day.
Artists, I hope this astonishing oil rig view has got your creative juices pumping, because your challenge is about to begin.
Because it's the semi-final, the judges will be looking for some really special art. As usual, you have 4 hours to complete your work, and your time starts now.
Today's seascape takes in the Firth of Cromarty. Dominating the view is a group of imposing oil rigs, temporarily moored here to undergo maintenance work before heading back out to the North Sea oil fields.
It's a complicated, dramatic landscape. It's as if we're on Mars or something, and they've got this incredible combination of the man-made, but then also the natural environment that's slowly being revealed by this Scottish weather, where we're going to have 4 seasons in a single day. And I want to see our artists sort of bring those 2 elements together in an effective, fabulous painting.
The obvious thing is the verticals. I mean, there are such strong verticals. So I'm using the canvas in a portrait way.
There's a lot you could paint here, really panoramic view, and I work quite small, so I've got to be kind of brutal and think, right, which bit should I go for? So I think I'm going to go for these 2 rigs with some of the boats in the foreground.
Whilst the artists consider their compositions, Kathleen and Ty consider Kate's latest creation.
Can I show you baby Juno?
Oh, please, yeah.
So,
oh, my goodness, they look so happy. Look at them.
so much more exciting than hanging out with us, isn't it?
Sadly, I think maybe so. But maybe Juno can help us in the final.
Yes, another judge. That's great.
Well, Patsy, you haven't committed yourself yet, have you? Quite.
No, I have 1 vertical line so far.
1 vertical line is a good inspiration.
Do you think they'll be happy with just 1 vertical line?
I don't think so. You might. Professional artist and art tutor Patsy Moore often takes to the 7 Seas to give art lessons on cruise ships. At her heat, she sailed into the semi-final, impressing the judges with her ability to manipulate colour by combining vibrant and cool tones. One of the things you like is water, isn't it?
I do like
and
reflections. Yes. If we don't get any reflections, you might get 1 or 2 in my painting, perhaps.
You might reflect it.
I think the story of the picture is competition, in a way, between the man-made structures and the softness of the landscape behind. So it's finding the balance between the 2 that interests me.
There's so much choice here, isn't there? Because there are little boats, oil rigs, there's a little jetty.
I know, I'm already beginning to think, do I want to do that bit? Or do I want to do that bit? I don't know now. It's a battle.
I panicked a lot last time and I don't want to be panicking so much, so I'm trying to really get the details down in my head and planned out beforehand. How am I going to actually draw the water? What techniques do I want to use to draw the rig? So I don't have this sort of phase.
Professional artist and wallpaper designer Fujiko Rose won her heat with her depiction of the Gateshead Millennium Bridge, distinguishing herself through her signature technique of using white paper and Indian ink, applied by brush and pen.
Fuji, you're using a strange implement. What are you doing?
So I'm just using a ruling pen to apply the masking fluid.
So the masking fluid, it masks the white of the paper.
Yeah, I'll draw and paint over it.
Afterwards, you can peel it off?
Yeah, it'll come right off.
Then you'll have these white marks.
Yeah, it's just like the weeds down the bottom.
Is that what inspired you, the grasses?
Yeah, so it's almost, if you're looking at it from there, and these are
okay.
kind of cutting across.
I get you, okay.
They're not random
I thought there was kind of some
scratches.
cosmic ripples or something.
No. I really love texture.
Well, you've got a lot of weird
and
texture on those rigs.
The oil rig will be just under half of the page. It's going to be quite a close-up of it because I want to get quite a bit of the details of it.
I'm quite intrigued. Looking forward to seeing how this works.
Every opportunity is an opportunity to experiment, so I might experiment with more drawing because a good drawing is the foundation of a good print. It's like if you build a house, bad foundation's a bad house.
Professional printmaker Cathy Reddy gets her inspiration from her agricultural surroundings in County Carlow, Ireland. The effect of her painstakingly detailed monochrome work in her finished lino cut print surprised and delighted the judges.
So you gave us that fantastic circle in the heats, and now we've gone for the rectangle. I mean, what made you decide today to go for that?
Well, the landscape is quite horizontal. I didn't want to do a circle again because I was like a bit of a one-trick pony with the circle, even though I loved it, but I thought I'd give the judges something different.
You are drawing it the way we see. So we're going to see a reversed image.
Yeah, some artists flip the image so that it prints the right way around as you see it. I prefer not to because I believe that's part of the process.
Yes. I mean, the ultimate irony with the lino cuts is that you do this fabulous drawing on top and then you just take it all away.
Yeah, it's all gone.
So when you're going to give us a richness of clouds in the sky, we're going to see reflections on the water.
Yeah.
All in black and white.
All in black and white, hopefully, anyway.
Fantastic. Good start.
I think to go impressionistic on something like this wouldn't really do it justice. It has to have some sort of grittiness to it. When I had to paint the castle in the heat, what went right for me was really building in a lot of colour beforehand and then painting over it, using opposite colours to inject colour into a grey scene.
Professional artist Gary Jeffrey lives in southwest London. Gary only ever paints landscapes, and in his heat at Hurst Monceaux Castle, the judges were struck by his complex and unusual use of colour, starting bold and then toning down.
You had a very relaxed approach in the heat. You seemed very calm and just there for a laugh. You managing to maintain that in the semi-final?
Yeah, there's a bit more of an edge to my laughing this time.
What are your feelings about these testaments to man's engineering prowess?
Well, I find them a bit otherworldly.
They're definitely otherworldly, aren't they? So does it fill your heart with joy, or are you like, oh, what am I going to do with these things?
Well, I'm kind of sidestepping it by playing with colour at the moment.
Yes, I can see at the moment they're quite vague, aren't they?
Yeah.
The platforms.
But they're going to have to come into focus at some point.
OK.
I'm dancing with colour. That's where I'm at.
You're the colour whisperer.
I wish I was.
The colour shouter at the moment. There's not much whispering going on there, is there? So all this playing around with colour is because you're scared of what?
Because it's so tremendously complicated, the structure. And I just want the whole thing to sing and just punch you in the eyes.
That is brilliantly bold. I love it.
Places in the final are guaranteed for 3 of today's 7 semi-finalists, and they're nearly 1 hour into the competition.
I'm not happy with what I have at the moment. So I'm just quickly taking a sketch in a completely different angle just to see would that be the right way of doing this landscape justice.
A little while ago, I was panicking. It's beginning to take some form and some shape. Although it doesn't appear to have a lot here, it's had an inordinate amount of thinking about. And that's what counts.
I'm happy with the composition. The water's almost done in the sense of actual drawing, and then I can just focus on getting the details of the oil rig. If I'm too pushed for time, I can get a little creative with it.
I'm feeling the pressure in the sense of the strategy of how I paint this scene. I basically throw myself off the bridge and then hope that I can learn how to fly before I hit the bottom.
Here on the Firth of Cromarty, our 7 semi-finalists have been wrestling with this ominous seascape for an hour. And the ever-changing weather has made painting plein air even more challenging than usual.
It does seem slightly odd now it's stopped raining that I'm suddenly getting an umbrella out. I knew something like that was going to happen.
Despite graduating with a fine art degree, David Youds shied away from a career in the art world. However, in recent years he's been gathering his artistic momentum, and at his heat on Tyneside, the judges were taken with the naive charm of his work.
What's with the umbrella do?
Yeah, it does seem slightly odd, but it's just to keep the glare of the sunlight off the board, really. But you tend to paint darker when there's light on the board, so it's just to get a more accurate tonal value when I'm putting in the blocks of colour.
So seascapes, are they a normal part of your armoury?
No, it's not often I paint.
Ever?
No.
Never?
I live inland, so it's kind of a bit alien to me. At the minute, the water's quite still, so I'm going to simplify the tone as a whole colour and make tiny adjustments when the light alters. I used to be quite a slow painter, really, but I've learned to speed up a little bit and try and sort of capture those sort of moments.
But does that mean, if you're working at speed, that we might see more than one work today?
I'm not that ambitious. I mean,
But I hope you are that competitive.
Yeah.
But while some artists are forging ahead, one is playing catch-up.
Something had to change, so I decided to focus on one drilling rig and the mountains and make it vertical and zoom in a lot more into the landscape. I feel like I'm on the right road now.
It's not your normal Firth view, is it?
Really?
They are odd-looking things, but there's something very beautiful about something that's designed purely for its purpose and with no thought given to aesthetics whatsoever.
Oh, you're sounding so German. Form-following function, yes?
Exactly. Look at them. There's something magnificent about them.
Yeah, my heart goes out to our artists. There's a lot of detail there.
A lot of cross-lattice work.
Nice, yeah.
Yes.
A lot of cross-lattice work. It is menacing as well. It reminds me, is it H.G. Wells, The War of the Worlds, where these tripods kind of come out and sort of attack humanity? There is something about that in their size and their sort of rustiness and alienness. And so I do want the paintings to have that mood in it, because it is strange. So I hope the artists pick up on it.
What are the pitfalls of painting this quite bizarre scene?
The only danger really is getting bogged down in the detail of engineering. There's so much of it there. You could spend weeks drawing them. So they need to find a way of abstracting it and just giving us a sense of these monsters without actually drawing every metal strut in.
The slight bleakness of those structures and this glorious weather.
Yes.
I mean, it feels
wrong.
Well, the weather feels sunny and optimistic and open, and those rusting elephants. It's an interesting contrast.
It's perfect for a semi-final.
Enjoying the protection of the pod for the first time is amateur artist Sue England.
Now, you were a wildcard.
I was a wildcard, yes.
And you've come through to the semi-final.
I know.
That's great.
It's amazing.
Now, when you're a wildcard, you have your own camera,
Yeah.
your own easel and everything.
You do.
This is different, isn't it?
It's wonderful. It's like being in a 4-star hotel. Yeah.
So how do you feel about today?
Yeah, it's great. I just wish the light would stay still for a minute, and you know, but that's a common.
Here it comes.
Common problem.
Here comes
here,
the
'cause
sun.
the sun. Yeah.
Amateur artist Sue England is a retired graphic designer from West Sussex. The heat at Hurst, Monceaux was her first attempt at painting plein air. But despite the horrendous conditions, her large brushstrokes and loose style drew the attention of the judges.
It is the most amazing views.
Yes, it is. I had no idea.
And how are you feeling about how you're dealing with it? You've made a lot of this water.
Well, I didn't want to put the horizon line quite in the middle, and I wanted to not just be about the rigs.
Now, the rigs are looking very impressionistic. Are they going to stay like that?
Well, probably. I do tend towards the abstract when I paint, so I don't really see things in detail. I deliberately haven't put my vision glasses on, so that actually things are a little bit of a blur, you know, so...
I've got mine on, I can tell you. They look very rig-like, actually.
Thank you.
Because I focus a lot on colour, the biggest challenge for me is really trying to dig into what's there and see what's happening with the colour, because it's still there, it's just very subdued.
Amateur artist James Murch's accomplishment in painting plein air saw him win his heat at Plymouth. His technique of underpainting before creating the light and shade with a combination of horizontal and vertical strokes impressed the judges.
James, you're piling on the paint. How's it going?
It feels like a bit of a panic still. I haven't quite got hold of it yet.
I look at that scene and I want to scream because there's so much detail. And you're quite a painterly, wristy artist. Yeah. How are you going to deal with that? Is that what's making you freak out a bit?
No,
detail.
I'm not really worried about that because I'm not going to put it in, basically.
Oh, OK.
I'm just going to consolidate one block of tone. I still feel like I'm putting all the elements in, and once they're there, I can start kind of shaping them and pushing the paint around, and some things come through that you hadn't planned.
Have you had any happy accidents up to now?
No.
Oh,
okay. A few unhappy ones, I think.
Oh, OK, so that's also part of the panic, is it? Sort of...
Yeah, fighting against making the structures too small. They tend to shrink as you push and pull the paint.
And how are you feeling about sort of semi-final? Are you feeling pressure?
I am feeling the pressure a bit more today, actually, yeah. I want to paint a good painting and I want to win.
I think it's very evocative. Nice one.
Thanks very much.
With the semi-final halfway through, the Firth of Cromarty, with its vast seascape, intricate oil rigs and ever-shifting skies, is really making life hard for our 7 artists.
The thing I'm most worried about is just having enough time to completely carve the lino block and print it. So time is tight because it took so long at the start to nail down what I wanted.
I wish I hadn't put quite so much water in and put more sky and less water, because the water now is pretty boring. It's just horizontal waves coming towards you. There's no shape in it. If I was starting now, I'd do it differently.
I'm really pleased with the overall feeling I've got on the canvas, and I'm really concerned about getting those rigs put in and actually facing down what I've been avoiding. It's about how much to put in, how much to suggest.
I think I'm about the right place at the moment. I can't go too crazy on the detail everywhere, but there's enough time to still add enough to make me happy, I should say.
Our artists have less than 2 hours left to recreate their vista of the Firth of Cromarty. But even halfway through, the landscape is still producing all sorts of surprises.
Patsy, I see you've got sort of yellow in the sea, and it's funny, I didn't see it till you pointed it out to me. I suppose that's what good or interesting painting does, isn't it?
I think it's all about looking and seeing what you find in there. Since the heat, I paint slightly differently, really searching to find something different.
Oh, you're such a painter. No, it's nice. You're such a painter. It's such a nice thing.
One of the things I really like about this work is the way in which you've given us that sort of sense of distance by using the platforms themselves, sort of going backwards. I think that's really effective. I'm sort of feeling the ghost of Turner's Fighting Temeraire. They're like ships.
That's generous.
Well, are they ships? Are they buildings? I mean, how are you negotiating them?
They do have a real scale to them. That was one of the bigger challenges. So I kind of tried to bring the clouds in at an angle as well, just to kind of exaggerate the scale.
It's quite an abstract painting at the moment.
I want it to be truthful, but not literally what's there.
Cool.
What areas do you need to work on next?
The rigs are still a bit odd, because there are actually 3 masts over there, and really I've only got 2 and a blur.
Artistic licence.
Artistic licence. Well, maybe I'll.
The judges can't count, so you're fine.
Maybe I'll.
They're not here for their numeracy skills.
Are they not? No.
I think you don't need to worry, because there's supposed to be 3 judges and there's only 2 have turned up.
Thank you for that.
At this point in the competition, the opinion of those 2 judges is crucial.
Well, what a tough job you have. The standard is really high. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think we did a good job as judges in picking these 7. They all seem very comfortable.
There are a couple who've had moments of panic, but most of them are quite controlled and they're focused.
OK, let's consider them one by one. Well, David is here with his flock of darling daughters.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He has never, ever done a seascape before. That's quite something. But, you know, fortunately, he's been able to find elements that he's familiar with in the view today. You know, you've got a very mechanical, urban scene.
Funnily enough, the structures look huge because the tide has gone out, so it's constantly evolving. And I think for somebody like David, who works reacting to tones and colours, it might be a bit too much for him.
Patsy's is very spacious, isn't it? With really very few brushstrokes.
I think Patsy's been through an epiphany since winning the heat. She's trying to paint in a very, very different way to normal, and I think she's achieving that.
And at the moment, what I'm seeing is a very sort of restrained, cool rendition, very beautifully balanced composition, but I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to be happy with what she does.
OK, now, James.
A good traditional painting of what we're seeing in front of us. But what really excites me about James's work is the perspective, the way in which he's used the platforms to give a sense of depth on what is essentially a very small piece of board.
I just love the way James puts paint on. I mean, it's got that luscious quality, but what I'm worried about with James is because of that sort of wristy, loose application, he's simplified those ladders and it doesn't capture those platforms as I experience them.
Fujiko, it's the detail that makes her work so outstanding.
Exactly. And I think Fuji's at a really difficult place at the moment because it's hard for us to read it. She works in planes. Everything will be sliced up in a slightly abstract way. Her work won't make sense until the very, very end, I don't think.
It's very abstract and a strange design, but I think it's very beautiful.
Gary's opening gambit, which is always to cover his canvas with totally inappropriate colours, completely foxes me.
Although I have to say, I thought it was very beautiful. I wanted to lick it rather than hang it on a wall. From a fanciful point of view, I really love the colour combinations and I quite like the abstract nature of it.
My only concern is that we're not getting these dinosaurs as much, or the character of the dinosaurs.
Kathy is working in a lino cut.
She had the lino in a sort of horizontal rectangle and she'd drawn in the whole landscape and then she changed it.
So what we've got now is something that's much more brutal. She's got in there. We won't know exactly what it's like until we see the pull at the end, but now at least she's got the right composition, I think.
Now, Sue is our wild card who's made it to the semi-final, and she's holding her own, and even more, perhaps.
She's approaching this landscape as sort of various sort of abstract structures and colour planes, and it's just beautiful to watch her work her way through. It looks very interesting at the moment.
But I think if she's going to give us that much sea, I need to see more richness, more texture, rather than these sort of abstracted lines and drips. It needs more reality, I think.
Well, it is the semi-final. You're looking for 3 artists to put through to the final. So what are you looking for?
We just want something interesting and surprising and great, you know, and going forward, somebody who, when given the commission, will not be fazed by it.
They're very measured about the sense of competition. And I wonder whether the second part of the day, it starts to kick in. You know, this is a competition. I've got to get 4 others out of their little pods.
Yeah.
Well, they're all being very polite anyway at the moment.
Yeah.
Perhaps it'll get fierce. I don't know.
Bit of colour's gone in on that big structure.
Like a couple of lifeboats.
And the boys.
And the boys. This morning there were loads of greys, and I was thinking, yeah, I need a little bit of colour, and that really stood out. But I think the key is not to put too much in there, like overdo it, because if you put too much in there, then nothing stands out.
Fujiko, what's going on over here? Because we've got colour here.
I've rubbed most of it off, but this was the masking fluid. So when I take some bits off, it creates almost graffiti-like feel scratch, almost like a scratched image.
This is quite detailed, isn't it? It's almost like an engineering drawing. It's so exact.
I wanted to add a bit of grit, so I've just tried to make it a little bit grunge.
And that will be the only landscape part that puts in an appearance.
There's a little bit of land.
Yes, give us a little bit of land, because it throws into relief this monstrous human contraption.
It needs to balance it out a bit.
It does. It will be lovely. Lying 40 miles north of Inverness, Cromarty's deep sheltered waters provide perfect conditions for shipping. And in the early days of the Industrial Revolution, Cromarty was a hub of international trade, importing coal and iron ore. It was also a centre for hemp production. Raw hemp from St. Petersburg was spun into sacking at the local factory and shipped to London, where it was used in the West India trade to pack cotton. The boom in the local economy funded the construction of elegant Georgian housing. But by the mid-19th century, the Industrial Revolution had gathered speed. Britain was on the move, but Cromarty was left behind.
From the 1800s, as the road networks developed, bridges were built over the main rivers, and a whole network of roads developed further inland. Cromarty went from being a thriving commercial town to being what one visitor called a miserable place in the last stages of decay.
This once wealthy port descended into poverty, and for over a century became an obscure backwater, until a discovery off the coast of eastern Scotland changed the course of its history. In 1970, British Petroleum struck oil in the North Sea, and soon afterwards an oil rig construction site opened at the village of Nigg opposite Cromarty. 2 years later, the first North Sea oil rig, Highlander 1, was floated out through the Cromarty Firth. But the industry is notoriously unpredictable, and over the past 4 decades, the people of Cromarty have seen its rise and fall at first hand.
When the oil industry is in downturn, the Cromarty Firth becomes an area for parking oil rigs relatively cheaply. So the more rigs in the Firth, the less drilling for oil there is out in the oil fields. So it's almost a barometer of the oil industry.
With the current trend turning to renewable energy, and with 50% of construction at Nigg now offshore wind turbines, Cromarty's fortunes may well be on the rise once more.
There are just 30 minutes to go, and our 7 semi-finalists need to use the remaining time wisely to bring their artwork to life. The weather's been a challenge all day, but for one artist, the tide is turning in their favour.
Kathy, the lino's coming off very easily. Has that got something to do with the heat?
Yes, that's the sunshine now here today shining on it, so I don't have to use my iron, so it's actually brilliant. It's cutting like butter.
So you'll be able to catch up in a funny way because it's warmer?
Yes.
Just want to put a few of these reflections that honestly were there earlier. So if I can get the idea that the water is watery, I should be very pleased.
I've struggled a bit with the detail of the rigs. Keep scraping it off, putting it on, and kind of doubting myself. Hopefully I can pull it together.
I feel like the texture I have going on, like the slightly scratched kind of speckled feel, is what I wanted. I don't think it will be totally finished, but I'm trying to draw as quickly as I can.
On the dramatic shores of the Firth of Cromarty, it's a critical moment for our 7 semi-finalists. Their 4 hours are nearly up, and with only 3 places in the final, there's no margin for error.
The rigs are very skeletal at the moment.
They are. I've gambled. I've decided to gamble on looseness. I'll try and get away with suggesting them because I don't want to draw attention away from the overall feeling. It's like walking a tightrope. I feel as though I have something here and I don't want to kill it, but then again, I don't want to be a coward.
Courage, my friend, courage.
I'm not going to do a great deal now. There's one little bit that's annoying me up there, and then I'm going to sit and look at it.
There's a few bits I'd like to have done differently. Got a little teeny strip of land, just not the mountain behind.
Artists, you have 5 minutes left.
Lovely. I'm shaking now. I've only got 5 minutes left.
might need help laying paper.
No, I'm very happy to. Shall I go to where you are?
Yeah.
Because I can't. Oh, God. I can't help you with this, I'm afraid. It's going to freak me out. So if I hold these and you just pull it off.
1, 2.
Yes.
Good flat.
Hey.
That is really well inked.
Great.
I feel like I've given my all. It's in the hands of the gods or the judges, as I know.
Artists, your time is up and your semi-final challenge is over.
Please put down your brushes and step away from your artwork.
The light, it just changed so much throughout the day, and I've kept them to rework the sort of columns and the frames. But I'd like to think I've done enough. I mean, I've given it everything today.
With the semi-final challenge over, the judges evaluate all the finished artwork.
We've had a good day, haven't we?
Really good day, really good day.
But it was a difficult one to work with. There's a lot of information out there. But, you know, I'm looking at David's scene here, and he's absolutely, you know, captured what it was like today, and there's a certain sort of blusteriness in his brush work.
I do question the positioning of the boats. Now, I know they were there,
Yeah.
but they just tipped the picture into being a little bit too sweet.
What I do like about David's inventiveness is that it's just a jumble of abstract marks, but it really gives us a sense of the complexity of that bit of engineering out there.
Patsy was really intent to do something that was completely different to her normal way of approaching painting. You know, it's got a volume to it, but she's made everything also very beautiful.
I was worried about Patsy's reticence because there is a weight to that out there. But what I always like in an artist is when they show me something that I wasn't aware of. And as I look across the water, I would have never seen yellow. And then Patsy's shown me, no, there is yellow there. And I'm suddenly seeing it through a new lens. And that's what I want an artist to do, is open the world in a new way for me to discover. So very slight, but very well constructed.
Yeah. For me, what James managed to capture today is a sense of otherness with these structures. They are so weird, they are so strange if you've not encountered them before, and he's got that. And he's also coupled it with a really nice sense of distance.
Works with quite large brush marks, so when I'm standing in front of the painting now, it seems rather crude.
Mm-hmm.
But as I step away, you do get that menacing broodiness of these giant structures, and that space, for its size, it packs a punch.
So Fujiko's almost taken us down to the bulrushes. I know that she's using that device of the grasses to sort of push us further back, but I wonder whether it doesn't take me slightly too long to get to the platform. She's given us an element of something that it's really hard to understand what it is, but the whole structures are weird, and she's captured that.
The surface of her drawing has what I feel those structures have, a sort of a decayedness and a sort of the sense that the end of the industrial age, and she's caught that very beautifully. I love Gary's use of colour. I like the way he works. He doesn't take sort of route one, he sort of goes around the houses, and then you get these beautiful accidents happen where sort of colour leaches from the back as he approaches the correct colours.
I love the fact that he stayed true to his principles as a colourist, and he wanted to push it, but it's as if he's been a bit too heavy-handed, like it's not as polished as his work that we would normally see. I'm so glad that Cathy decided to change her composition in the end. You know, as a lino cut artist, she really needed to get in underneath that structure, and she's gone much closer to it. And here she's been able to revel in all the detail of the structure itself.
And you get the size and the height of these towers and the huge sky behind it. So considering she was an hour behind, I mean, she really has pulled it off.
Yeah. Don't you just love it when one of our wildcards manages to come through and produce something that stands really confidently in amongst everything else today?
I love Sue's inventiveness, the way she uses paint and layers it and drips it and is able to create textures.
She hasn't given us an exact depiction of the surface of the sea, but she's given us a sense of the currents and the flow of it by the washing over of that brush.
Maybe she ran out of time or something happened here when this is so interesting, inventive, to then, it's quite crude, this, isn't it?
She's a very urgent, frenetic artist, and I think that gives her work an energy.
But only 3 can go through to the final.
I think that artist wanted to be brave today, and I think that delivers.
Yeah. One on the right, I just love the inventiveness and of the paint application.
Well, we're happy with that one, aren't we? Going
Yes,
through?
yeah.
Happy with,
That
I
one,
think, this
that
one.
this one.
And I'd really like to see this artist again.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Artists, congratulations to each and every one of you. You've together created a marvellous collection of seascapes.
It's never easy for the judges to choose just 3 to put through to the final, and you certainly haven't made it any easier for them today. But they have reached their decision. And the first artist to reach the final is Patsy Moore.
And the second artist chosen to go through to the final is Fujiko Rose.
The third artist to reach the final is Sue England.
Our commiserations to the rest of you. Each of your work has been distinguished, and we hope you've enjoyed being with us today. Thank you all very much.
What's just happened? I don't know. I can't absorb this at all. What a compliment. I feel like a little girl, which is ridiculous at my age, but it's brought so much joy.
Patsy practically had a spiritual awakening after the last heat, and she's totally reinvented herself.
And she's an interesting colorist, finding colors in this landscape that made a mood in a very restrained language. I thought that was extraordinary.
Really, really happy. In that process of trying to tackle things today, I found different techniques that I really like.
It was really about an artist responding to what she was seeing. Fuji was reacting to that and
Yes.
thought, how do I make marks that gets across what I feel about this today? I've never seen any work like it.
It's wonderful. Get through to the final. I can't really take it in. To know that what I am doing is being validated in some way is really encouraging and exciting, yeah.
Sue straddles figuration and abstraction. It's always a journey between these...
Like her brushstrokes.
Yes, like, where she's never comfortable. So that keeps her work alive and open to possibilities. The 3 that we picked had something more than just energy and focus. They were courageous.
3 female artists being courageous, I think that's something special to celebrate.
They're true artists in the sense that they use art as a vehicle to investigate something. And all 3 did that today.
Hello from Newcastle Gateshead, where we're about to step on board HMS Calliope, regional HQ of the Royal Navy Reserves.
On the south bank of the River Tyne, we've mustered a fine crew of 8 artists, ready and willing to serve in the name of art.
All aboard and prepared to launch, it's Landscape Artist of the Year.
Over this series, we're challenging 48 talented artists to capture some of the most spectacular and striking scenery Great Britain has to offer. From the ancient to the modern.
Today's clutch of competitive contenders painting a view of Tyneside comprises 5 professional artists. Andrew Hurd, Camilla Dowse, Fujiko Rose, Troy Stewart and Ronwyn Hayes.
Really looking forward to getting stuck in. I'm a little bit anxious that we get a little bit of blue sky.
And up against them are three amateurs, Kate Langley, Keith Tunnicliffe and Paul Graham.
I'm petrified. I'm feeling petrified this morning. It's been a few weeks of nervous anticipation, so I'm just dying to get going now.
They'll be working under the exacting gaze of our judges, Kathleen Soriano and Taishan Schierenberg.
Nothing feels right. This is too thick. Yeah.
Look, you're here because your submission is lovely and you're a good painter, so get on with it.
All right. Son, my husband.
No, oh, God.
The artists are all competing for a sensational prize, a £10,000 landscape commission of Venice to celebrate renowned art critic John Ruskin.
Also aiming to impress at every heat are an extra 50 artists, our wildcards.
So do you normally work sitting cross-legged on the floor?
I forgot my chair.
So who will make a meal of it?
I'm not happy at all.
And who's hungry for success?
I keep imagining an enormous boiled egg just being sliced.
That's why you're hungry.
I must be.
Until now, the judges have only seen a digital image of each artist's submission. So this is their first chance to get a close-up look at the real thing.
Well, we don't have Kate and her bump with us today, so you're going to have to judge even more and possibly reflect what she herself might have thought of paintings, OK?
I guess we'll have to. What I like about this work is actually how much movement there is in it, even though the buildings are so dominating, but they're also static.
In this abstract jumble of shapes, our eye is able to travel across space and make sense of it. It just is a beautiful symphony of grey, really.
You can feel sort of the heat of the day beginning, but the cool of the shade, but there's a little bit of a breeze blowing with the clothing sort of waving around on the line. I think they've really summoned up that sense of weather.
I love this. I think it's an extraordinary bit of ink drawing, mark making, and also an interesting way of breaking up perspective into this kind of cubist way of looking at space to give us a sense of a location.
What I found interesting are the different painting techniques. So you've got this sort of wobbly painting technique, which you see on the barge and then you see in the water, which is really effective. And then you've got the precision, the blockiness even, of the building.
It's a strange use of lino cut, is it?
It is lino cut.
To then cut a window into a scene that you've almost finished and put in a sort of bit of engineering detail, because it looks like the wires holding up a bridge. So it's almost saying this is an urban scene, but and underlying it all is this sort of engineering stress.
I find it a little bit spooky.
Yeah.
It makes me think of the house in Psycho.
All the colours are slightly turned up, and I think that's what gives it this sort of powerful narrative.
What are you to make of this one, I wonder? It is, in fact, reflections in water.
Yeah. You can even smell the dankness of the pond edge. It's a beautiful piece of organic greenery.
Well, it remains to be seen how all the artists handle the bridge over the Tyne.
Artists, it's time to look lively and shake a leg as the competition is about to begin.
You have 4 hours to complete your painting. Your time starts now.
Perched on the Gateshead waterfront, today our artists are facing the elegant Millennium Bridge. Known as the Winking Bridge, it's the world's first and only tilt bridge, and has become an architectural and engineering emblem of the region.
So we picked this incredible view with this wonderful bridge because we wanted to give the artist something sort of technical and meaty to get their teeth into. But there's a lot more there which they might pick up on. There's a reflection of the water, the buildings in the background, and the area is quite animated. So today we're interested to see if the artist can actually capture that sense of the iconic that this bridge gives us and to do it effectively and powerfully in the work that they produce.
It's a bridge that just seems to float, so there's an awful lot of air to paint. Unlike the other bridges in Newcastle that were quite Victorian and solid in structure, this one's all about what's not there rather than what's there.
A professional photographer from Glasgow, Paul Graham specialises in photographs of houses. Paul often carries his paints in the boot of his car, so whenever he sees a view he likes, he can instantly capture it, which is how he came to create his submission of a local restaurant, which caught his eye.
Now, you have not wasted time. Look at this marvellous charcoal all over the canvas.
Well, I'm just trying to get the shape and get and make sure I'm happy with the composition.
Are you happy with this line of the buildings?
I think so. It's more the gap that the bridge leaves, because this bridge is all about how it floats in the air.
So it's going to be a painting of sky.
There's going to be a lot of sky in it, yeah.
And the sky's changing all the time.
It is indeed.
You know it's treacherous,
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah, but I've got a wee trick. I've got a Polaroid camera, so when the sky's right, I'll take a Polaroid and hang on to that.
And what are you waiting for? You're waiting for the sun to move?
I'm waiting for the sun to come out. Which it just has.
Seize your moment.
I'll do it now.
With a 4-hour time limit to create their landscapes, seizing the moment is good advice for all the artists.
My biggest concern is that I won't finish it in time. I still haven't figured out how I want to lay out the image. Hopefully I can create something that I'm happier with. Cross fingers.
Fujiko Rose is a self-taught fine artist and wallpaper designer. She took part in 2018's Landscape Artist of the Year, drawing Fountains Abbey in North Yorkshire. This year, her submission shows foliage around the front door of her Welwyn Garden City home, made in her customary medium of Indian ink.
Starting with small sketches, what are you trying to work out?
It's quite a complicated scene in front of me. You have to kind of edit things out as well. I'm sort of trying to get a slightly old photo feel merged with a bit of a modernist meets a bit of a wood block.
That's good. Of the 3 squares you've drawn for your sketches, you haven't filled out the 3rd one. Have you arrived at your composition, do you think?
I think I might flesh out the 2nd one a little bit more, and I think I'm going to have to move around a little bit. I might try and get a slightly different angle of the bridge, actually.
OK, good. Well, look, I'll let you get on with it. I'm quite intrigued how it's going to look on here.
I'm also quite intrigued.
Don't say that.
The 8 artists lined up aren't the only ones painting on Tyneside today. On a first-come, first-served basis, we've invited 50 more artists to paint on Gateshead Quay, the Wildcards.
It's a fabulous view, but what do you do? Can you give us a clue? No? There, 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 there. You can go anywhere, can't you?
And if any of their artwork captivates the judges, they could win a place in the semi-final.
So yeah, I'm going to inject green in here. There's a tree growing out of the thing back there, so I'll put it there. Put
Growing
some
out
trees.
of what thing?
Do you see here? Down there, there's a tree growing out of the ditch in the
But
water.
you're facing this way.
Yeah, but it's called artistic license. I can put whatever I fancy.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm a portrait painter, so we're at the Baltic. And there's all this big landscape, but none of that's the Baltic. That's the Baltic.
Paul?
Yes?
I'm impressed by the start you've made to your painting, but I'm more impressed by the fact you're sitting cross-legged on a stone floor. Do you do yoga?
I don't do yoga, no. I do a bit of bodybuilding.
Bit of bodybuilding, OK.
When I can.
Not going to pick a fight with you, then.
Don't do that, whatever you do.
Well, it's a cracking start.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Nice to meet you.
And you.
Watch those knees.
I can't get up. I'm literally going to be
Somebody
here the rest
help
of the day.
him. Help him.
Can somebody, anybody?
My gosh, Keith, you've made an incredibly vigorous start. It's all sort of swooping lines and energy.
Well,
is that how you
That's
read
exactly
it?
what I want. What I try and get is a feel of something.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be a really accurate lino cut. So it'll be more like a painting, really.
Since retiring from his career as a web designer, Keith Tunnicliffe now devotes his time to art. Having recently discovered a passion for lino cut, his submission print of Waterloo Bridge in London was created after crossing the bridge at sunset.
One of the things I really liked about your submission were the limited range of colours that you used.
Yeah.
But they were very beautiful. Tonally together, they worked so well.
It's only the third ever lino cut
I
that I've
know.
ever done.
What have you changed from that being your third one to this being much further down the line?
I don't think I've learned very much, really. I think what I try and do is try and tell a story. So basically, you might see 4 prints going up on only one submission.
So we're going to have a little gallery start to emerge in your little pod.
That's right.
I mean, it's a wonderful start.
Right now, Camilla, you've done a very small, very beautiful little sketch, and it's lovely. Is that towards a bigger picture?
I just need to work out the composition, really. I could have brought the bridge in from the side, but then it wouldn't be about the bridge, and I want it to be about the bridge. I mean, you can see here what the big one will start looking like, because I do a lot of drips. I let the paint do what it wants to do.
We love drips.
Okay.
We love drips. Camilla Dowse from Henley-on-Thames has been painting professionally for 5 years, since giving up her job as a picture editor in publishing. Her submission, painted in acrylics, was inspired by the evening light falling on the waterfront of a boathouse on the River Thames. Now, what do you make of this medley here of sort of neo-modern, strangely reminiscent Byzantine architecture?
Yeah, well, they've tried, but... Well, I must admit, I don't find it very attractive, but what I will probably do is just look at the shapes and screw up my eyes and try and not see the detail, because that's where I'll fall down if I end up putting too much detail in. So I just want to concentrate on the bridge.
We'll be with you all the way.
Thank you very much.
The artists have been painting the Millennium Bridge for 1 hour. But even at this early stage, every decision counts.
With lino cut, there's no looking back. If you don't get the cut right in the beginning, then really you've got to start again.
It's not as I imagined in my head. You have an idea, and then as you're drawing it, it's not as you pictured. So how to fix that is the current problem.
I'm probably at quite a crucial stage, because I've used masking tape to mask off the area of the bridge, which I'll reveal, and if it doesn't look right, I need to start again.
Here on Tyneside, 8 artists are 1 hour into their 4-hour challenge to create an artwork of Gateshead's iconic Millennium Bridge.
Bronwyn, you've got lots of masking tape and lines. Have you worked from something like this before?
Not really, no. I make it up as I go along, really. You just have to kind of respond to whatever's there. And, you know, I start to draw lines and I went, ugh, lines are too tedious. It's going to take too long to draw. So I just want to block it out and mask it up and get blocks of shape.
Bronwyn Hayes from County Clare in Ireland went to art school in Dublin. But landscape painting has had to take second place to raising her children and her job as a film set painter. Her submission, inspired by a visit to Monet's garden at Giverny, was painted over several days in oils and acrylics.
So you've got this beautiful sky stain, and you've already caught the colours of the river. I mean, is it about applying paint in a transparent way again and again?
Yeah, it's building it up and building it up and building it up. And then I'll probably put a whole wash over the whole thing that pushes it completely back.
Bloody
I'll put a
hell.
glaze over it, and then I'll probably paint some oils, and then it changes completely again.
I mean, you said you don't really have a plan, but it seems to be working and looking quite exciting. So, as long as you're quite gestural, and I've got to be
Yes,
very careful
I know.
about my clothes.
I'm nervous of
But
that.
I continue.
I live in London, so obviously I'm exposed to urban landscapes a lot. I'm comfortable with it. Obviously, there's a lot of sort of man-made, mechanical, sweeping-looking lines. I just want to make sure that I can get that correct.
Originally from New Zealand, architectural technician Troy Stewart now lives in the UK and is studying part-time for a diploma in portraiture. His submission shows a view of the Regent's Canal in London, painted in oils using traditional techniques on a decidedly modern subject matter.
One of the things that impressed me in your submission was that it felt to me like there were almost two styles of painting. One was sort of like wibbly-wobbly, almost impressionistic, and the other was sort of blocky and formal. I mean,
Yeah.
are we going to see those two different styles here today, do you think?
I come from a drafting background,
Mm-hmm.
so I try and get the proportions right, but I'm trying to be more expressive.
Yes.
So I want to do the wibbly-wobbly effect on the front rail here.
What's next? Have you got a game plan with the hours that you've got left? 3?
Yeah, I think the curve of the arch is quite important, so I want to sort of lock that in now.
But you'll be okay for time, you think?
I'm going to have to be.
The bridge over the River Tyne. It's not without its issues to paint, I'd imagine. Is it technically difficult to paint something like that?
Yeah, that elliptical shape, I would find it very difficult. I mean, what's harder is a circle on its side even, and that's what we have in a sense from the view. But we're not even directly under this elliptoid, we are to the side of it. So you've got to make it a believable shape. Actually, the only nice thing, or easy thing, I think the artists will really enjoy is the water itself.
Right.
But some of them even complain that when it gets windy, of course, it gets choppy and you can't see the reflections. So this is a right old handful.
Complained?
I
This is
know.
Landscape Artist of the
I
Year.
know. How
What
dare
have they
they?
got to complain about?
Earlier, I know you were a bit sort of overwhelmed by this scene in front of you.
Yes, I decided, if the sun will behave, that I'm going to focus on the reflections. In other words, the only not man-made bit.
And you're not worried that you've given the largest part of the canvas over to something that's a little bit sort of empty?
Empty? Where's the empty? This, the river?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the best bit.
When amateur artist Kate Langley first moved to Scotland with 4 young children, the cold, wet climate prevented her from painting outdoors. But her submission oil painting of a summer garden was painted in the heat of a family holiday in northern Spain.
Well, I think the washing line was inspired in your submission work. It really sort of animated the landscape. It sort of carried the eye through the picture frame really well.
Thank you. Yeah, I must think movement, but nothing much is happening. Got ripples, we've got ripples.
Fantastic. I'll let you focus on getting all those ripples and all that reflection in.
A lot of my work is quite structured. The horizontals and verticals, I feel quite at home with that. I do paint water quite a bit, so again, having the river in front is quite sort of reassuring. It's something to sort of ground me a little bit in terms of having the reflections and something to work with.
After selling his haulage company a few years ago, Andrew Hurd took early retirement and relocated to the Isle of Wight, allowing him to paint en plein air every day. His submission was painted in oils over 8 hours and shows a rooftop view from the restaurant of London's National Portrait Gallery.
Andrew, that is a really beautifully balanced composition here. Quite a few of the artists are having a problem fitting this crazy bridge in.
That was my big worry, really, yeah, how to get all of that in and sort of cope with it. So I thought I'd just have a little bit of it. to suggest it's there, but at the moment it looks a little bit sort of abstracted.
Well, it's interesting. I love the abstraction. And in a sense, this block of buildings that you just blocked in with some very zigzagging marks is a kind of, it's a rather beautiful way to paint buildings without getting bogged down by detail. I mean, are you going to have to adapt to the time frame?
I'll reduce it quite a bit, but really pick out the pieces that are important. And some, I look back at paintings when I've finished them and think it was better 2 or 3 days ago.
No, I mean,
So
I think
the 4 hours might stop me before it goes wrong.
Also exercising their creativity on the Gateshead quayside today are a further 50 dedicated artists. Our Wildcards.
I work in this building, I get to see these views all day, every day. I like the geometry of the steps here, and I think that deserves a mention in its own way, doesn't it? Obviously, I'll put an ode to the Tyne Bridge and the Sage itself, but that's not going to be the focus.
No one else is picking out that particular view, and that's it.
Well, that actually says something, though, does it? You should be painting over there.
Sort of France in the 19th century feel to this.
I'm not really sticking to any colours, I'm just going for the shapes.
You're not sticking to any colour, you're sticking to all the colours. So you're ignoring this big bridge behind us?
I thought that might be a bit too technical.
Right.
So I thought I should go for something like this.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the difficulties of painting a famous tilting bridge is just as you're halfway through, the bridge begins to tilt.
Oh,
they're just about to
that's
lift the
about to
bridge.
lift the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And a moving view isn't the only difficulty our artists are facing.
Yeah, the change of light's getting really hard now because it's so much brighter, clear blue sky, so everything has changed considerably from this morning, and the water is ever shifting. Every time I look at it, it's different.
I think for something so big as this, it needs just nice marks rather than playing with it. I think big brushes mustn't go small brushes.
I have problems. There's lots of sludge, there's lots of mess. Hopefully we'll get there.
I've got to put in the cables that are holding the bridge up, and I'm a wee bit concerned about that, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
On the banks of the River Tyne, 8 artists are halfway through their 4-hour challenge to depict the Millennium Bridge. The judges have been keeping a close eye on them all morning. So what do they make of their efforts so far?
Glorious sunny day in Gateshead. Andrew has looked at what's in front of him at the various angles of the river and the bridge and the buildings, and he's shifted his perspective over. Are you happy with what he's doing?
I think Andrew was super clever to identify that he wanted all the lines to converge really on the Baltic. We're not close enough to the end of the day to see how he's done that, because every line, including the wires on the bridge, are going to help him achieve that, I think.
Fuji's submission had an elegance to it. Are we seeing that elegance in what she's produced so far?
With graphic art, the sort that she makes, there is an elegance, isn't there, inherent in it, and you've got to be careful it doesn't tip. And the slice she's picked is very beautifully balanced.
Ronwen is approaching this view in a completely different way to everybody else. The only solid bit of structure so far is the arch of the bridge.
I'm absolutely terrified at the moment, because she told me this was going to happen, that we'd see the form, we'd see the composition, and then it would disappear. And it has completely disappeared.
Yes, it sort of went.
Yeah.
But now she's starting with oils, and I think she's bringing the whole painting out again, but it is a bit scary at the moment.
Camilla did a very small sketch which has sent you into raptures.
Oh my God,
Kathleen.
I love Camilla's little sketch. I just think it's so beautiful. And as she scaled it up, I just think it sings.
Actually, the way Camilla's working it up doesn't add anything new.
Okay.
Sometimes paintings work because the mark making is of a certain size within the framework. In blowing it up, the size of a brush mark stayed the same, and it's lost that kind of vivacity. But, you know, it's early days.
Well, I don't remember a heat where I felt the artists had so much to do. So we'll see if they can pull it off.
You've included a very great deal here. You've got all the foliage here, and you've got this series of buildings, not particularly attractive buildings, but you've made them more attractive than they are.
You know what, when I was doing my rough sketch was really small, and so I sort of just ignored the buildings earlier, and then when I was drawing large, you start to realise little problems like there's more trees than I realised, which isn't a problem, that made me happy. But yeah, I couldn't really block off the building. It's larger than I expected, so you had to put a bit of focus on it.
Keith, this is so different from what I saw first thing this morning. And I can see that the Baltic is slowly emerging more and more.
Yeah.
At the moment, it feels quite abstracted.
I want it to be sort of abstracted, but
Okay.
it's also got to, it's got to have that last little bit of definition, I believe.
Okay, and that definition will be with darker lines, you're thinking now?
It will be with fine black lines.
Well, I think Gallery Keith has been a huge success.
So about an hour left.
How am I going to avoid overpainting?
Yeah.
Is there a bar? Is there?
Do you need to be physically dragged away from your paintings at a certain point?
Normally what I would do, because I would be in my studio, I put it on my easel, my big, huge easel, so I live with it for a couple of days, and then I might go and tweak. But that's probably, obviously, I don't have that luxury here.
No.
No.
No, you have an hour, and then
No,
the painting
so-
will be judged by two fearsome judges.
Yeah, thanks for that.
OK, Andrew, I rather love the pink in your clouds.
The light this morning was a bit softer. The plain blue, I think, would be too, you know, it would lose something.
The
Yeah.
water is changing,
Mm.
and you're changing with it here.
Yeah, the water won't necessarily match the sky, but...
We won't
I
let on about that,
No,
we
won't tell anybody about that.
Water dominates our artist's view, so it's appropriate they're working in the shadow of HMS Calliope. Despite the HMS in her title, she's what's known as a stone frigate, a naval base on dry land. In the past, there have been 5 actual ships named Calliope, one of which was the star of a famous 19th century story of seamanship and daring do. Commander John Galpin served on the ship many years later, as she neared the end of her working life.
I joined in April '49. It was the old ship. You saw straight away that this was something pretty special.
In 1889, she'd been stationed in Samoa, protecting British trade routes in the Pacific. In charge was Captain Henry Coe Kane. On the 16th of March, a major cyclone hit the small harbour of Apia, where Calliope lay at anchor. Hemmed in by the reef and jostling for space, many of the ships nearby began to run aground.
Captain Kay, with the ship literally 6 feet from the reef, felt there was nothing he could do where he was. If he stayed there, he would be lost. So he ordered maximum steam and ordered full ahead.
Captain Kane tried to steer Calliope out of the harbour, but one of the other vessels, the American ship Trenton, was in trouble.
As Captain Kane put the helm over, Calliope's boom went over Trenton's stern, and then they were away. And the Americans cheered them as they went out.
the captain and crew of Calliope returned to a hero's welcome. Now, over 100 years later, the name of the famous ship lives on here in the Royal Navy Reserve's training centre.
Filling the Gateshead quayside, our 50 wildcard artists have spent the day capturing their surroundings in all their diverse styles.
This building has just been amazing with the reflections, the colours, the tones, the shapes. I love the shadows and the darkness, and it's forever changing.
I'm actually quite pleased with how it's going. I'm really into skies and things like that, so it's perfect. I don't usually do bridges and things like that, but it's quite a nice challenge.
But have any of their paintings captivated the judges?
I really like the guy who's sitting on the ground who's really just done the Baltic, you know, with that orange ground.
Beautifully loosely painted, but it's very much the building. It's got the essence of it, yeah. I still like the woman down towards the side who did that on that very loosely painted painting of the bridge here, where, you know, first time I understood that there were two shadows.
Yeah, I like that too.
So it's between Baltic Man and double shadow on the
Yeah,
Tyne.
I think so. Do you think?
Yeah, so who?
Congratulations. You are our wildcard winner today, Mr. Baltic. Thank you so much. Well done.
Thank you.
Fabulous job making it the hero of the day. I think it made all the difference sitting on the floor, don't you?
Yes. I'm going to pay for it later. Absolutely amazing. Didn't think it'd happen. I hoped, you know. I just put a little bit of faith, and it was amazing that it all came together in the end, and I'm just over the moon about it.
Paul Ashton from Bradford will enter a pool of wildcard winners from all the heats, one of whom will be selected for a place in the semi-final.
Painting the Millennium Bridge, the 8 artists have less than an hour to go and must use their time wisely.
I'm in the danger of where I start getting too detailed. Just try my best not to ruin it, because I always do it in the last hour. I always ruin a painting.
So I call this the panic stage. No, I just keep on going and drawing, and hopefully it'll turn out well.
I'm not happy at all. I'm really struggling. It's a little bit too dry, it's a little bit too insipid. I'm very frustrated, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to save it a little bit before the next half an hour or so. Ugh, yuck.
Here in Gateshead, our 8 artists have just minutes left to complete their artworks of the Millennium Bridge over the River Tyne.
If I could cut the painting in half and keep the bit of the Baltic centre, I'll be happy with that. But the rest of it's getting a little bit tricky, so I just need to sort of get the water right.
Looking great. What do you need to do?
No, I hate it.
Do you hate it?
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
Loathe it at this stage.
What don't you like about it?
I need loads more time. It's not luscious enough. It's very one-dimensional. I'm really disappointed.
Kind of glad it's almost over. The swathe of kind of brown buildings, I wanted them to go back a bit, and I'm not sure, maybe put a bit too much detail in. I actually just don't know at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one.
Artists, you have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes.
Exhausted and not happy. I don't like architecture, and there's an awful lot of it today.
I wish I had another power. So I could scrape it all off and start again. That's the way I'm feeling right now. But yeah, I've done all I can do.
Artists, the challenge is over and your time is up.
Please stop your work and step away from your easels.
Our artists have done all they can. It's time to hear what the judges make of their work.
It's been a good day. I think Troy did very well. I get the sense of where he was standing, so you got that river taking, going off in the distance.
I think Fuji did redeem herself from the slight prettiness. There's more of this lovely wash. There's a timeless quality to it. The way in which she's used the white of the paper to define the arc of the bridge. It's very elegant.
That's a good, solid piece of painting Andrew's produced today. It really has a sense of the day, and it's put together in a really lovely, painterly sort of way.
What I do like is the way in which he has drawn the eye completely into this gap that he found. I was so excited by Ronwen's start this morning, all that energy and vigour and the way she was blocking it in, and it was all so balanced. And she promised me that what was there at the beginning was going to come back, but I don't think it quite has.
It's the most painterly print I've ever come across, and I think it's very beautiful as an object. I must say, I don't know what I'm looking at, though.
I think he's experimenting with the medium of print, and it's playful and it's very personal.
The colours are bonkers in the water, but in that kind of Renoir, sort of impressionist French way, it works. I just think Kate sort of fell down, giving us a sense of solidity. It sort of seems to dissolve, which is beautiful, but a bit sort of unstructured.
I like the amount of sky that he's given us in the context of the river, but some of it feels a bit too sort of impatient and rushed and not thought through. I really like the arch and the way she hints at the wires there, and the sense of that orange coming through, but there's lovely blues. It's very pleasing, a word.
I'm looking at this, and it's sort of some faded Tuscan villas on the hillside. I'm thinking that is fantastic.
The judges can only pick one artist to send through to the semi-final. They start by narrowing their selection to a short list of 3.
This one, I'm feeling more and more confused about what I'm looking at. From this end, I feel I'm happy with that one, and then these 2 down here, that's my 3.
That bridge is you get a real sense of tension in its arc, and it leads you over. So,
3?
Yeah, I've got 3. I've got 3. Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Artists, we hope you've enjoyed the experience of painting here today. We've certainly enjoyed watching you at work.
But sadly, the judges can only fit 3 artists onto their shortlist, and the first artist they have chosen is Fujiko Rose.
The second artist on the shortlist is Andrew Hurd.
The third artist is Camilla Dowes.
Our commiserations to the rest of you. You are all talented artists, and it's been a pleasure having you paint for us here today. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Very well. I thought more highly of your work than you.
Now the judges must whittle the shortlist down to the day's winner. To help them, they take into consideration the selected artists' submitted artworks.
3 very different moods of today. I'm not sure without the bridge, you'd know that they'd all painted the same place today.
It's interesting that each of them have been absolutely true to their artistic voices. And isn't art wonderful that you can look at the same thing and come up with sort of very different sort of results, really?
So, taking every artist in turn, let's start with Fujiko.
What is interesting about her submission is the graphicness of it. It brings all the detail and the texture to the fore, whereas in today's piece, Fuji, in using that paper, has made it actually is very quiet and it draws you in. And I thought, actually, that I preferred it on white, but this thing grows on me.
She understands about how to lead the eye, and very cleverly with that dark balustrade that she's put in the foreground, she's created this sort of contemporary sense of distance into a world that could be 200 years ago behind it.
What about Andrew? Has he fulfilled the promise of his submission?
I think the strength of Andrew's painting today is that he found the right angle. And actually, when you look at the submission, he did exactly the same there. He's very good at finding that focus point, or that vanishing point.
The colours he's used are very sort of tonal in a certain sort of painting tradition, but we certainly get the feeling that it's very much related to what we were experiencing today.
Camilla, we know that she can paint water really effectively, as we see in her submission. It's interesting, though, that she knew when to stop in the work that she was painting today, because I think that would have been too heavy-handed in the composition that she's given us here, which is lighter. Presumably being slightly tactical, knowing she only had 4 hours as well.
Well, for Fuji, Andrew and Camilla, will it be Bridge of the Gods or Bridge of Sighs?
Ooh.
Fujiko, Andrew, Camilla, the judges have been impressed by the work that each one of you have done today, but there can only be one number one.
After much deliberation, the artist they have chosen to put through to the semi-final is Fujiko Rose.
How about that?
Congratulations. Well done, well done. Hard luck, hard luck.
Definitely a surprise. Definitely. I was getting ready to clap for someone else.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Really loved it.
My mum was crying. She's been supporting me this whole way, so I'm glad for myself. I'm also I'm really happy for that she's happy too.
Usually when we have a graphic artist win, somebody works in black and white on paper, there's always this discussion, it's got to be really good because it's up against painters. I think Fujiko's work surpasses that it doesn't even come into the equation. It really is about the richness of her visual language, the richness of her mark making, the inventiveness of her compositions, and how she fills them with this texture. And I've never seen anything like that before.
Welcome to Hurst, Monceaux in Sussex. Once home to the Royal Greenwich Observatory, the site still houses 6 historic working telescopes.
And today it's home to 8 astronomically talented artists who we know will make a bid for the stars in search of landscape glory.
Let's hope they create something out of this world. It's Landscape Artist of the Year.
Over the course of our glorious British summer, we're visiting some of the most spectacular and thrilling scenery that our sceptred isles have to offer.
48 talented artists will be challenged to capture these magnificent views and turn them into their own landscape masterpieces. Come rain or shine.
The weather is crazy, but it's still a beautiful landscape.
The artists are competing for a sensational prize, a £10,000 commission to paint a scene in Venice to celebrate the bicentenary of the art critic John Ruskin.
To be in with a chance of winning, they'll have to impress our 3 exacting judges: Kathleen Soriano, Taishan Scherenberg, and Kate Bryan.
Have you been practicing doing a painting in a day?
I've got different speeds, so I'm just gonna...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just...
Or put yourself on turbo speed to do.
Yeah.
And at every heat are an extra 50 artists, our wildcards, just one of whom will make it to the semi-final.
So sit back and enjoy as the search for the Landscape Artist of the Year takes shape.
I do landscapes in triangles, I do lots of things in triangles, everything is triangles.
Not literally, I mean...
Not literally.
You don't see me in a triangle.
I can, yes.
Oh, you can?
Yes.
Okay.
Engaging with both the landscape and the British weather are today's competitors, comprising 4 professional artists: Pippa Cunningham, Stephen Royals, Patsy Moore, and James Hayes.
I think the weather kind of suits me. I like to paint gloomy skies, so couldn't have asked for more.
Joining them are 4 amateurs: Drew Carr, Tamara Savchenko, Chien Snow, and Roy Carlos.
I have painted in rain before. I don't think I'm worried about anything, except maybe lightning.
All of the artists were selected from a piece of artwork they submitted online. So today, the judges get their first chance to scrutinise the art in person.
Well, judges, welcome out of the rain to contemplate some really stunning landscapes. Look at the sunlight on this one.
There's such an intensity of colour here. You really feel bathed in a warmth. I really like the way the paint's put down. I mean, they're really clearly delight in these big, bold brushstrokes that sort of dance across the canvas.
I had problems with this sort of angular style, but seeing it in the flesh, what really works is the distance the artist will be able to create and the space in a believable landscape.
You know, we often want our artists to have their own particular style. It feels like this artist has found their own voice. It's a really creative composition, actually, sort of combining the man-made and the natural in that way with that fantastic viewpoint that frames the landscape for us.
But so counterintuitive in a sense, because, you know, if you're teaching somebody about painting, you would say, don't frame something that's symmetrical with something that's sort of geometrical. But it works because of that contrast between the natural and the pylon.
It's a really strong bit of storytelling. Man's existential crisis in the face of the forces of nature. There's a storm brewing on the mountains, there's a tiny little patch of light in the distance, and he seems all alone with his thoughts.
What a cheerful picture.
Oh, it's fantastic. I want a coconut, I want my bikini.
The way the marks are made, there's a speed to them, which sort of suggests also the speed of light somehow. It sort of matches the brightness. Today is a rather dull day, so I'm quite intrigued how they'll bring this language to bear.
This is very gritty, it's very industrial, but at the same time, well, it's really quite cute with all these lovely colours. I mean, I don't think you look at this and feel kind of weighed down by industry. I think you feel intrigued by it.
Again, a fantastic composition. The diagonals are pushing us out to the edges of the canvas, and a small work is telling a huge story within it.
Water in a landscape. Water's always wonderful and refreshing, but it must be hard to paint.
Very difficult to paint, especially in this way. I can hear the water rushing. You know, it's very well done. I mean, it leads your eye through the landscape in such a way that it becomes very abstract. And I think it's a fantastic bit of painting.
I love the colour palette. Everything's got this really lovely kind of yellow glow, so you don't know whether or not it's like a kind of sandy scene and that's echoed into this glowing yellow sky.
The way in which they've sort of created these lovely blocks of colour with the different buildings and distant mountains, you know, and I think it's quite an interesting, not an obvious colour palette.
So here we are, 8 extremely talented artists, all very different. Rain coming and going, how will they handle that? We wait and see.
Artists, the moment has arrived.
You have 4 hours to complete your landscape, and the time starts now.
Assessing their surroundings, the artists get underway, each with their own particular technique. Their view is of Hurst Monceaux Observatory, once home to the Astronomers Royal and still in use today, albeit by less august stargazers.
Mirroring the domes of the telescopic housing, we've dropped in some rather shiny celestial objects of our own.
We're looking for the artists today to really respond to what we've put in front of them. You know, how do they deal with that traditional English pastoral scene and this very kind of modern geometric form with this amazing reflection, actually? There's good storytelling here. I mean, they could do something quite moody. We could have something quite strange. We could almost have like an alien landing landscape artist of the year. That would be fun.
think the view is incredible. When we arrived, I actually shed a tear of joy because I love round things. I've never painted round things, but I love round things.
I usually go for kind of distance and horizons, and there's none of that today. And the silver balls certainly add a bit of complexity as well, which I try not to panic about.
For one artist, panic may actually be setting in.
It's not a view I would pick. It's really difficult. I mean, normally you pick things that have some sort of connection, you know, there's a feeling that you want to paint. And this is like quite challenging for me because I don't have any of those sort of feelings towards it.
Local artist Pippa Cunningham studied fashion and textile design. During her career, she's been commissioned by high-end fashion houses and national charities. She often features balmy climes, as depicted in her submission, painted in gouache on a recent trip to Sri Lanka.
Now, your submission was the beach scene.
Yeah, I like sunny, hot places.
Sunny, hot places.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
It's also quite a challenging image, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's quite hard.
So you've started with a wash.
Yeah.
We've got this huge, bold splash of green.
Yeah, I'll be splashing out for the next 4 hours, I think.
Where are you going to focus?
Probably just sort of, I don't know yet, exactly.
Do you know, I think this is the hardest landscape we've ever presented to anyone. Really hard. But don't let me discourage you.
No, thanks.
Because everyone else is in the same boat.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a definite precision about the architecture, but ironically, as an architect, I don't really enjoy painting buildings. I would usually choose mountains or lochs, a bit of both.
Glasgow-based architect and amateur artist Drew Carr's submission in oils is painted from a photograph he took of Long Loch while out running near his home. The scene's been framed by the geometric form of an electricity pylon.
Drew, you've sketched it in a sort of a kind of blue underpainting.
Yeah, I always kind of do a quick wash, mark like 9/3, as it were, trying to figure out where I think the composition's going to sit.
Is that because it makes for a better composition, or it helps you draw out the scene in front of you?
It's kind of like a really lazy way of gridding up.
Once this is done, you start applying realistic colour?
Yeah, so I kind of always get the sky in first and then kind of just work my way forwards, basically.
Oh, OK. So, actually, the paint is physically coming forward as well?
Yeah, I just did that when I first kind of got into painting. I kind of learned that the hard way. Like, trying to do the sky last was a nightmare, just trying to paint it around everything you'd done.
It's a very beautiful start. I would like to hang that on my wall, but I think it needs to go on, so I'll let you get on with it.
All right, thanks very much.
Also experiencing the volatile weather at Hurst, Monceaux today are a further 50 weather-proofed artists, our wildcards. They're pitched directly in front of the historic castle, an army of umbrellas on manoeuvres, deploying tactical measures regardless of the rain.
I've got 2 easels because I've got a metre-wide canvas, and then I'll have good firm, and I won't wobble at the end.
It's fun, isn't it? It's day out. Be a nice warm bath later, I think.
I'd sit down, but my seat's got a puddle in it.
Should their landscapes catch the judge's eye, they could win a place in the semi-final. But some don't want to just catch their eye.
If you come right back now and tell me what to do next, then I'll be very happy.
Yeah, right.
You've got a plastic bucket, you've got a broom, you've got a mop.
We've got it all here.
Was the art shop shut?
I'm just wanting to cover this large canvas. Much quicker, you see.
Is this...
Didn't need any of those little tiny paintbrushes.
Turner didn't know what he was doing, did he? Who needs paintbrushes?
Meanwhile, our chosen 8 are taking a slightly more traditional approach, depicting their scene at Hurst Monceaux Observatory.
I've never painted anything quite like this before. This is very different. I like a view that will tell a story, and that's what I try and get across in the painting, that there is a story to be told there.
Professional artist Patsy Moore's Shantytown submission is painted in oils. A fine art graduate from the University of Edinburgh, for the past 17 years she's tutored budding artists on how to get their stories across on canvas.
Patsy, what are you making of these quite extraordinary orbs that have found their way into this bucolic English landscape?
Fabulous.
Oh, you like them? Good.
I do.
Pleased.
They're reflecting. I mean, it's all about the sky, this view anyway, I think, isn't it? The story is about the sky. I'm intrigued by how much lighter the globes are than the sky itself.
I mean, they make the sky look so dramatic, don't they? It's
Behind
like a
it,
vortex, those clouds.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a bit vortexy today, I think, hasn't it?
Well, that happens on Landscape Artist of the Year. I love this undercolour that you're using. There's a kind of almost fleshy pink tone.
I think it has advantages because there's warmth in the atmosphere, and that can come through if you leave a few crackles of the dusky pink underneath.
Yeah. OK, good. Well, let's see where we end up with the day.
All right.
Those observatories look like giant Daleks. Kind of, we will exterminate. We're going to come and get you. It's good. I like it.
Somerset-based amateur artist Chien Snow is a freelance graphic designer and mum to 2 young girls. She revels in the freedom of oil painting, working quickly to capture scenes.
Chien, you've gone off like a rocket. I mean, you're painting, not you.
I'm keeping with the theme of the astronomical theme.
Sending stuff up into the heavens.
Yeah.
You don't hang about, do you?
I don't. I try to, actually. I try to sit back and think about it and be really sensible.
Oh.
And then I thought, no, I've got to just be myself.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to dive in.
Right.
I've got 4 canvases.
Have
so
you?
If I mess up.
OK. You've got a plan B, C and D.
Yeah.
So you wrestle with your art.
Oh, yeah.
It's a psychological battle with yourself.
Yeah, I'm never happy.
Really? You smile, but inside there is...
Crying.
Well, I expect to look over later and see you laughing hysterically one minute and crying like a baby the next.
With an hour of the challenge gone, is the view still to everyone's liking?
It's just getting everything coordinated. There's an order, chaos, order, chaos, order. I'm at one of the chaoses.
I always feel like the beginning's not too crucial for me. Everything kind of moves about a little bit and changes a lot throughout the course of the painting. So once I've got everything covered, that's the proper start.
I'm finding it difficult. It's just feeling a bit blank, I think. Might fill it up with buttercups.
At Hurst Monceaux Observatory in Sussex, our 8 artists are into the second hour of their 4-hour challenge to capture the cosmic view. But for one, artistic licence may play its hand.
I think this view, I'm reasonably happy with it, but I think there is room for shuffling things around. I'm juggling the balls.
Not fazed by today's weather is amateur artist Roy Carless, who has a love for light, as demonstrated in his submission of Thornton Force in the Yorkshire Dales. An experienced landscape artist, in 2017 his painting of South Gare on Teesside won that day's Wildcard heat.
Hi, Roy.
Hello.
How are you going to cope with these big balls?
Oh, fine, that's no problem, I think, really.
I mean, you've really gone for it. You've put them all in. You've decided to embrace them fully. So you started with the compass.
Yep. So I've let everybody else know that they are available for rent.
Have you got no competitive edge in you at all? You should have kept them for yourself.
No.
This could have been your defining, glorious feature.
Indeed.
You're the only one smooth around balls.
But one artist has no need of a compass.
My specific style is just not to use curves, which is, with this many shiny balls, it's pretty challenging. When I started learning how to paint, it's just a revolt against all the curves. I just want to just be sharp and straight and still beautiful.
Retired chemistry teacher Tamara Savchenko originally hails from Russia, but for nearly 30 years has made Exeter in Devon her home. Her submission, an oil painting of Budleigh Salterton Beach, is in her signature geometric style, something which might prove tricky with today's spherical view.
Tamara, we recognise the reduction of the landscape from your submission, of course, but what's missing is the triangulation.
If you look, everything is a little bit triangular-ish. So it doesn't have to be an exact triangle.
Right.
It's just a straight line which create the angular shapes.
There's a looseness here that I'm really enjoying. It gives it much more texture.
I just actually want to make a landscape which is more or less realistic, and on the other hand is chopped into my shapes.
And I think you've done that really well. I love the surreal quality of it and the way the worlds are reflected inside the spherical balls as well.
I love them so much, those
Yeah.
balls. And I have the smiley face over there.
Oh, yeah, the gravel
actually-
makes a smiley face.
It's actually a smiley face there.
Yeah, very nice,
great.
very nice. Well, let's see if the smiley face makes an appearance and what happens when the trees come in.
Our landscape. Trees, grass, 6 copper domes and a lot of silver balls. A weird one today.
It looks a bit like a prog rock album cover, don't you think? I think it's amazing. I must say I wouldn't want to paint it, though. So we've really...
Tough.
Yeah, it is very tough. The balls are very shiny and the balls are reflecting within the balls.
I am told, from above they look like the solar system.
Nice. Well, it really is for the artist to find subtle differences in the landscape that contains a lot of the same shape.
How could they muck this up? How could they cock up the balls?
I don't know. I mean, the human mind likes to make order. And if they start subliminally sort of lining things up and trying to make order, it could get very boring. So they really need to concentrate that there's a nice rhythm in their painting.
I think if the wind picks up, it'll blow all those balls down and wipe out several of our artists. Maybe that's how we let them know who's the winner.
I don't need to do too much judging then.
We just roll 7 balls down and wipe out 7 pods, and the one who's left is the winner.
Excellent idea.
Trying to do justice the roundness of those spheres. I can't remember the last time I painted a sort of perfect circle, so we'll see. There might be imperfect, but...
A love of straight lines in the landscape is also much more Stephen Royal's style. A Bolton-based professional artist, he has a passion for painting construction sites, fascinated by their dynamic energy.
Steve, your submission was lots of straight lines, and we've given you a composition with lots of round things in it.
I'm still trying to do straight lines. And I think maybe I'm going to do quite solid lines for the domes.
And what about light? Is that important?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, because it gives you absolute depth, doesn't it? And especially when we first started this morning, it was so flat, I was struggling with the sky.
Okay.
But now we've got sort of creases in the sky. It's really interesting, that.
I can feel it happening. There's a way to go, so I'll let you get on with it.
Brilliant, thank you.
Like all these domes and all these spheres, and there's a lot of competing elements. So I just kind of decided to focus on one of the domes and just a couple of the spheres. Went with a kind of a portrait, elongated canvas because I wanted to emphasize the sky. There was a bit of thunder and lightning earlier, and if you're trying to paint an atmospheric sky, like, to be honest with you, that kind of stuff kind of helps.
31-year-old professional artist James Hayes describes himself as a country boy at heart. Born in County Kerry, he takes artistic inspiration from the brooding, expansive skylines he's grown up with. Are you happy to see clouds and grey skies, or would you prefer blue skies?
Absolutely thrilled. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't get a lot better than this, does it?
No.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing something a bit dramatic, maybe slightly more dramatic than what we've got.
Your submission was very dramatic.
Yeah, the submission is dramatic.
Yeah,
it's
huge landscape with those big storm clouds gathering.
Yeah.
Who's the figure in the painting?
That's my brother. He ends up in a lot of my work. He kind of wanders into shot, you know, and sure, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Do you two come as a pair?
We do, yeah. Today, anyway.
Are you close in age?
Yeah, we're twins. So,
You're twins?
Yeah. So
that's close in age.
Relatively close, yeah.
In the submission, you look very moody. Are you the dark, brooding one?
Always.
You're the light, sunny, smiley one?
I wouldn't go that far.
There you go. Oh, really? You're both moody.
Yeah.
Enjoying respite from the rain, our 50 wildcard competitors are working on their interpretations of the medieval castle, vying for the chance of just one place in the semi-final.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think you're the only person who's had the guts to take on the whole castle. So well done.
What I find interesting is there's a lot of colour. I mean, and given that it's a grey day, I mean, I know there's a lot of green, but there's a lot of psychedelic colour as well.
There
are
a
people
lot of,
playing with bright colours.
The way the castle is reflected in the brown water, I mean...
Pink water.
I'm sure the water's brown and it's pink because the castle's reflecting it, but whatever. There are colours, you know, you're talking about colours. I mean, I'm looking and it looks a very drab day, and even this great castle looking pretty drab. But I think you're right, people are compensating because as they're looking or finding their way into the painting, they're finding these colours to work with. But
over your shoulder,
yeah.
I can see an amazing picture, which is mainly sky and just the turret of the castle.
They've all cracked on at an incredible pace.
Everything you do you put that black line?
Right, I'm not really interested in a landscape in a conventional way, but I like the shapes. So the black line helps me to kind of pull out the shapes, really.
Works very well. Well done. I like your umbrella as well.
The fact that water's running down your painting, you know, it adds to it somehow.
Basically just got your back to this castle. You're bossing the castle out because you're saying, I'd rather not paint the castle. We've got the tiniest sliver.
I don't particularly like the building, but I think it works reasonably well the way I've just put it on the edge like that.
Back at the observatory, our selected artists are also feeling the effects of the meteorological mayhem.
The weather has been so crazy. I've changed the sky a million times. You kind of hear claps of thunder and you think, oh yeah, and they kind of try and get the dark clouds in, and now I might as well just catch the rain on my canvas and see what happens.
As the weather is changing, so are the colours, so are the tones, and you have to adjust to what I saw earlier as well as what I see now.
Every time I look at the balls again, they've changed in colour or pattern. Of course, the sky's done the same. I'm going to have to rework that. Plenty to do.
Our 8 artists are nearly halfway through their challenge to depict the renowned observatory at Hurst, Monceaux in Sussex. With just over 2 hours left, one artist is still struggling with her composition.
Pippa, here, I'm looking at the centre and there's an emptiness to it. You still need to give your work a sort of a focus, don't you?
Yeah.
So, I mean, where would you say the focus is at the moment?
I don't know, that's the problem at the moment.
Might you introduce an object or a thing in this middle ground?
Well, I was thinking of painting the...
Oh, the camera?
Yeah.
And totally uninterested in that copper roof of the observatory. It doesn't appeal to you at all?
Not really.
What is it that put you off it?
The shape of it, the colour of it, where it is.
I love how you're screwing up your nose at this observatory. You're just absolutely not having any of it. Well, good for you. I mean, we want you to paint a version of what's in front of you, and you've chosen your very particular, quieter corner. So good for you.
Clearly not at a loss in the landscape is Chi Yen, who's already completed one canvas and is now working on another.
Chi Yen, you're on your second painting.
I am.
It's a different composition. Tell me why you got bored.
This was more of a study. This is me having fun. Like sitting an exam, you do your best very early on, make sure you get everything done, and then you kind of go, ah.
Also having artistic fun is Roy.
I love the way that you've got the echoes of the silver balls in the sky. I love that.
I don't know whether they're going to stay in there or not.
OK.
I'm not averse to pushing a bit towards the abstract.
OK.
I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, so even you don't know?
I'm really not sure.
So what do the judges think of our 8 artists' progress so far?
Is there anything nicer than coming to the British countryside in the summer?
I think it's the worst we've
It's
had.
definitely the hardest rain.
But possibly the best quality of work in the pods that we've had. The complexity of the vista that we've given them has actually made them all put a lot more thought into it.
How is Patsy coping?
What is beautiful is the red ground she's used that's still coming through. I think what we liked about her work was a sense of her colour palette being slightly off. And at the moment, I'm not getting that enough.
Roy's been here before. Is his experience telling?
The way he puts paint on is consistent and it's very beautiful. Very strange, the orbs are reflected in the sky, which I don't think is necessary.
But I quite liked seeing him this morning with his compass, you know, making sure he got everything right. And then as he paints, he sort of paints a lot of life into it.
Pippa's not interested, it seems, in the spheres or the observatories particularly. Is that a problem?
She's struggling, but in this struggle, she's reduced the whole thing down to just a field of green and one orb, and I think it's looking rather elegant.
I worry, though, that it's a bit dull in colour. It just seems a bit flat.
I love the colour and the density of that colour, the sort of chalkiness, the opaqueness of it. The palette that she's chosen today is really attractive.
Chienne's interesting. She's on her second canvas. Very vivid, her painting.
Very vivid, and she uses colour really well. She plays around with the paint on the surface, lets it skid around, different brush marks. There's very little drawing, and a lot of it is done through this big gusto act of painting.
The second composition, I think, is slightly stronger, but she works so fast, I think she just needs to back off a bit and slow down and really sort of tighten things up a bit, because at the moment, I think it's too energetic.
How Drew do?
He starts with what's furthest back. Right. So when he paints something over the top, it is physically in front of what is behind. So the actual paint is following the same regression as what is...
Rather than just sitting side
by side.
But I don't think I've had anyone paint like that, really, on this programme before. But I think it's quite an interesting way of doing it.
Some fine work out there. Let's see how they get on before those orbs hatch and our alien overlords rule the Earth.
The view of the observatory our artists are painting today only came about in the 1950s. The original Royal Observatory was based in Greenwich, founded by King Charles II in 1675. By the mid-19th century, light pollution in the capital prompted proposals to relocate the observatory to a rural location. In 1957, it moved here to Hurst, Monceaux. Individual domes were constructed on the site to house 6 large telescopes, their green copper cladding designed to blend in with the Sussex landscape. At its busiest, 200 astronomers and support staff were based at the Hurst Monceaux site, monitoring the night skies. The 7-metre-long Thomson refractor is one of the largest telescopes in the world. In 1969, it was used by a team of astronomers assigned by NASA to map the surface of the Moon ahead of the Apollo mission, and it's still in working order. Every night, the Hurst Monceaux astronomers mapped the position of the sun and stars, and were even responsible for generating the Greenwich time signal, more commonly known as the BBC Pips. In 1990, the Royal Observatory moved again, this time to Cambridge to be close to the university. But the old telescopes and their iconic green domes remain here at Hurst Monceaux. The site is now a science education centre, inspiring the next generation of stargazers.
Today, down the hill from the observatory, 50 wildcards have spent their day dodging the downpours, capturing the castle on canvas. Only one will be selected to be in with a chance of making it to the semi-final.
2 ladies in purple. Did you deliberately set out to match?
No, it's totally accidental.
Except we both like
we
purple.
both like purple,
obviously.
But, yeah.
Now, yours is not purple.
No, but there are elements of purple there.
So this is yours.
It is.
What do you say that she should do now?
Scrap it and start again.
So which of our wildcards has impressed today?
They've been amazing, and some really good work has come out of this dreadful day.
There was a guy at the very far end, and he did a large landscape, and he was using masking fluid, and actually he really allowed the rain to literally tell the story of the morning.
And that fantastic tree, did you see the...
Yes,
I
with the root
love
string and
that.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
The one that stands out for me in terms of picture making is the woman who's got a sliver of...
I love her. Do you like that one?
I do like it. I think the way in which she structured the trees with the colours, I thought was very effective. So, yeah, let's go for her.
OK, good.
Yeah, cool. OK, we've got a winner. We really like your painting. It's caught enough of the castle to get away with it. Well done, congratulations.
Absolutely delighted, thank you.
It's always a boost, really, to know that somebody else likes what you're doing. It's an absolute thrill. And it makes you think, yeah, I can do this, and I'll just carry on doing it.
Sue England from Chichester will enter a pool of wildcard winners from all the heats, at the end of which one will be selected for a place in the semi-final.
Back at the observatory, our 8 artists are into their final hour.
The only thing that's worrying me at the moment is, will I get it finished? But it's an interesting challenge. I'm not defeated by it yet.
Right now, I have no red brickwork in and rusty red doors. I've got those to do. If I don't get those in, then it's going to look weird, so I must get those in.
There's a couple of things that I can't quite write, which I'm kind of just going to run with. Domes haven't been easy, but it's too far on to undo them now.
Here at Hurst Monceaux Observatory in Sussex, our 8 artists are coming to the end of their landscape challenge, with final make-or-break decisions being made.
I've got 10 minutes to go, and I'm just trying to paint the camera crew. They're quite difficult because they keep moving around.
Filling up the obvious gaps, the details, bits and pieces.
My main concern is choosing the right painting. I need a big hand to come along and push one over or something like that. Can't make a decision.
Artists, you have 1 minute left.
Another half hour would have been nice, but done what I can, I think.
Artists, the laws of space and time cannot be broken. Your time is up.
Please put down your equipment and stand away from your easels.
Well done, mate. Nice one.
Very well done.
Well done, you.
For our artists, the hardest part is over, but for our judges, it's just beginning.
I think Patsy's been really clever. Sometimes when people have a seductive undercolour, they overplay it. And I think she's just given us enough of that fantastic deep rose pink.
There's a kind of distance also in Patsy's painting, as though you've come across a very strange scene. Because the circus tent is, you don't know what it is. From a distance, it gives it a certain mystery. What I particularly like about Roy's painting is the colour of the copper. It's so well observed. You even got the sense of its age, but also its wetness from the rain, and he's just caught it perfectly.
Yeah, and that echoing of the spheres, the whole thing is just wonderfully weird, really, but also precise and accurate.
I love Chi Yen's mark making, the way she puts paint on. I'm glad she went for the first version because it's more contained. You know, with that kind of painting, you need some control, and I think this has just about got it.
It's a kind of Alice in Wonderland trippy version of being here today. I'm really pleased that James chose this composition. I mean, the sky is a tour de force. You really get the sense of that sun doing its best to break through this thick cloud.
A lot of them reduced that area of sky because it was just too much, but he's just revelled in it.
I love Stephen's scratchiness. I thought that Stephen used line to construct space, but here he seems to use line to construct atmosphere as well. It's sort of rainy and uncomfortable.
It leaves an awful lot to the imagination in a very sort of poetic way. Tamara's all about reducing form and colour and shape.
There are really unusual shapes in here, which are very much Tamara's making. You know, these are not spherical. I do wonder, though, how successful this kind of green lawn is. Finally, the unsung heroes of Landscape Artist of the Year, the valiant camera team. This side of the canvas was crying out for something, and actually, you know, she resolved it with this inclusion.
Pippa's such a master mark maker with gouache. If she'd picked a more complex composition, she would have pulled off something quite amazing today.
Drew's made a very quiet, honest painting about today. He might be one of the most successful artists to deal with the orbs. The way that he kind of swirls the paint inside.
I like it. It's got a freshness. I could spend a lot of time looking at it.
The judges can only pick one artist to send through to the semi-final, so they initially narrow their selection to a shortlist of 3.
It's all about the balls today, isn't it? And the 3 that I feel have been most successful in dealing with that sort of luminescence that you get from them, those 2...
Yeah, they're great.
And that one.
And those 3, which really stand out, for me, used the orbs to their advantage.
The ones that we've picked are believable, and I think if you took the painting away from here, anybody seeing it would understand what's happening.
OK, good day painting.
Artists, you've all done exceptionally well dealing with this extraordinary scene today.
Sadly, only 3 of you can be shortlisted, and the judges have made their selection. The first artist on the shortlist is Roy Carlos.
The second artist is Patsy Moore.
The third artist, Drew Carr.
Commiserations to all of you who haven't made it, but we have really enjoyed watching your efforts today. They have been exceptionally good.
Well done.
It was an amazing experience. I will keep painting in my speed, with the same vibrant colours. I feel very encouraged.
Taking into consideration the artist's submission paintings, the judges must now make their final decision.
Well, our painters today struggle through some difficult conditions.
All these 3 have really risen to the challenge, actually.
So let's talk about each artist in turn, and starting with Patsy here.
I think I like Patsy's work today more than I like this. There's something about her submission that is very sort of staccato and precise. There's a more organic nature to the work that she made today.
The choice of the ground is really, really sensible, and just the way that it comes through, just enough.
With that beautiful red ground coming through and that sort of the purple in the sky, she's a really great colourist.
Ty, earlier in the day you were worried about Roy's reflecting the orbs in the clouds. But has he resolved that for you successfully?
It seems to make sense. I got some sci-fi soundtrack coming through the clouds there, and I think those vibrations that make the painting more interesting.
And I'm pleased to see that he's just taking one step into something a bit more surreal, and I think it really raised his game for us today.
Drew? Drew came through.
I think Drew's painting has a language that makes sense, and the subdued colour and simplification works very well. But I would have liked a more vital surface.
He didn't put a contrivance on top of the work. He didn't just have a trick of seeing something through something else. He really painted what he saw today, and he's got this fantastic sense of distance.
I think all 3 of these artists today didn't just really nail the orbs, but they really thought carefully about the kind of sky that we have. This is not a characterless sky.
Well, the English summer's finally arrived, a few hours too late. You needed to pick a winner. I'm going to go and get my Speedos on.
Patsy, Roy, Drew. It is, of course, a fantastic achievement to have made it to the last 3, but there can only be one winner.
And the judges have made their decision. The artist they have chosen to put through to the semi-final is... Patsy Moore.
Wow. Thank you. I'm stunned that I've got through. The fact that the judges recognise something in my work is a big confidence boost.
On a wet, miserable, cold day, Patsy sort of outshone the others. Beautiful colours, beautiful sense of mood. She gave us that slightly surreal nature of the scene, but also the reality of it at the same time.
Winning this heat means the world to me. It's fabulous, tremendous.